Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. It is your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Please reach out to me directly. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com for pricing. Today, we are discussing a long-running model from Patek Philippe. This was produced from 2004 to 2011. The example you see right here was sold in 2007. It is the Gondolo Annual Calendar 5135G-010. It is a large cushion-shaped annual calendar with a moon phase, a 24-hour indicator, automatic winding, and a lovely gray gold case. So gray gold is white gold that's white all the way through and does not need to be rhodium plated. In other words, it's the good stuff. The watch is listed as a 38, but I'm going to be honest, that's a bit deceptive. Though it is 38 millimeters wide, not including the crown, you really need to think of it as a 41 or a 42 round watch in terms of how it wears. It's broad across the wrist, 51 millimeters from lug to lug, although not thick at 11.6 millimeters. 21 millimeters is the spacing between the lugs, so it's got a fairly broad stance. It's on my 16 centimeter circumference wrist where you really get a sense of its size. Now you can see it's still flat enough to fit underneath the cuff, but it is broad. My goodness, those lugs are right out to the edge of my wrist, and you can really see that from over the top. So I'm going to recommend that you actually have a bigger wrist than mine, 17 centimeters circumference, to wear this one well. Consider that the entry level for this substantial watch. On the other hand, if you regret that most vintage and borderline vintage Patek watches look tiny on a big wrist, this might be the option for you. The strap is high grade, commensurate to the price and standing of the model to which it's affixed. We have dark brown, large rectangular scale alligator leather with big symmetrical scales. This is a high grade, very expensive cut. A gloss finish, monotone stitch. There's a sheer cut edge showing the layers of leather. The calfskin on the bottom, you can see it is a brand new Patek Philippe factory strap. It has the company's current pull-tab spring bars, so the strap can be removed without tools. We have a Patek Philippe white gold polished and faceted spade-style pin buckle. Notice that even the pin itself is faceted with two separate sides on its top. That's a very impressive element of attention to detail. The case is strong but simple. Its most striking feature, these squared off and vertically oriented lugs. You can see they're quite squared off on their ends like a vintage timepiece, but then the remainder of their profile is tapered, rounded, and polished. Everything here is polished. Give it a wonderful fluid, almost organic look, like a pebble smoothed in a stream. It is an annual calendar. Patek calendar watches still use pusher correctors to adjust all of the calendar indications. The case is smooth and sinuous. You can see it features a stepped bezel in cushion profile to match the case, and then a crystal that is cambered to match the shape, which is a nice refinement. You rarely see that. It's difficult to achieve water resistance with a shaped crystal, but Patek has given us standard 30-meter dress watch water resistance here. A couple of different things going on the dial. There's a sunburst on the outer face, the hour track, and then the center features a concentric pattern, or guilloche, that is concentric. We have white gold Arabic numerals in a lovely Art Nouveau style at 9 o'clock and 3. And of course, the cushion-shaped watches hark back to the first third of the 20th century, when Art Nouveau was still very much a going philosophy of design. We have these polished applique white gold dart-style indices with a white gold frame to frame the date. We have a day, date, month, so we have an American-style calendar. And then we have a moon phase display that is coaxial with a 24-hour indicator. So it'll let you know whether, for example, you're looking at 8 p.m. or 8 a.m. And you can see that we are looking at 8 p.m. This is so you don't accidentally use the pusher correctors to jump the calendar during the hours between about 8 p.m. and 4 a.m. The timepiece is an annual calendar, a system developed by Patek Philippe and patented in 1996. So the calendar is somewhere between a perpetual and a simple calendar. Simple calendar needs to be reset 5 times a year. A perpetual does not. This only needs one resetting during the jump from February to March each year. We have white gold hands at center, counterweighted Lancet-style seconds. Then we have polished Dauphine-style hands for the hours and the minutes. Flip it all over, we've got an older version of the caliber 324, and you know that because it features the Poisson de Genève. Since this watch was retailed in 2007, it makes sense that we'd find the Geneva seal on the caliber 324 movement. After about July of 2009, that would have been the Patek Philippe seal, but this is the older Poinçon de Genève. We have a 5-position adjusted unidirectional automatic winder with a 45-hour power reserve, a 4 hertz beat rate. You can see it pivots on 34 jewels. It has a free-sprung Patek Philippe Gyromax style balance. And you can see those variable inertia bolts on the balance wheel itself. They're used to make all of the fine adjustments to the timing. And then we have handsome elements of hand finishing, including black polished screw heads with chamfered slots in circumference, circular and linear stripes. We have engine turning on the center of the rotor as well as on the base plate. You can see that there is mirrored beveling on the edge of the bridges. I'll do my best to bring that out. You can see they have been finished. First started with a machining tool, but then finished by hand. That's how these Patek bevels are achieved. We have a little golden chaton that features the pivot point for the escape wheel. That's a nod to antiquity. And then there are some elements that are rarely seen but appreciated, like locating pins whose heads have been polished. Those locating pins are used to help locate the balance cock on top of the base plate, and then their heads have been polished. So that's nice refinement to see. You can also see engine turning on the click wheel that ensures the unidirectional winding of the winding system. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.